What up, chat? Wait, wrong one. There we go. What up, chat? How we doing? Runs late, we right. My bad, brother. I'm gonna be honest. I was in my office just absolutely blasting old rock, like old classic rock. Looked down, it was 6:55, and I'm like, ah, shit. So that's on me. You can tell I haven't even touched the charts yet. So we're gonna do all my little pre-stream shit together. This part's very tedious. You gotta go through. I should probably just make like a little indicator for this, to be honest. Something that marks Asia open, something that marks the prior day's highs and lows. I feel like it'd be really easy to have Claude do. It would save me a few minutes. Because now we go in and we mark every single high. Wait, wrong high. Chat, how many of you guys are already shorting? I know some of you guys are already ripping it. All right, there's the highs and lows. We got the opens. Boom. Now we go dollar, delete that one. Gold. Where's it? Damn, gold got slaughtered. Little magnet. Boom. Oil. All right, now y'all just saw my entire pre-stream routine. All right, chat, how we doing? No one gave me the short memo? Yeah, it'd be like that. What up, Toasted, Vish, Ron, Most Fab, Chat, Praga, Anth, George, Brisket, Aiden's, Good Boy NQ, Carlos. Every time I get very close to accidentally reading that because I like to read the full name. Sat, MD, KHY, how you guys doing? Print too much shorts? Hell yeah. Fuck, Leon. Leon, the nice part is with that though. Yes, did you hit daily loss limit? Does that absolutely suck ass? It does. Your account's still there, right? You still have to trade into tomorrow. We'll be all right, right? We'll get through it. In chat, I do have one slight confession to make. Yesterday, technically I ended up lying. If we go, hang on, let me look for it. Because I said that I was not going to trade those accounts. And I ended up seeing a setup that I liked to risk $200 to make back the losses. It worked last night. And then we ended up taking a trade today. And we got the payout. So, I mean, can't be mad about it. I ended up risking an extra $200. Trade ended up working well with a 3-to-1 risk to reward. And then we locked in, I think, 1,300 intraday today to secure the payout. So far it's 2 payouts locked in the last week. Let's see what we can do. It's $37 drawdown, full ported 40 micros, and made 1,100. Logan, I have 2 things to say. First, congratulations. Second, why are you always sub $100 from drawdown? I feel like twice a week at least. I was X amount away from drawdown and it's less than $100 and you're grinding back from the trenches. If you're gonna take a hit, at least give yourself a little more wiggle room, brother. How many counts was that? 3. So if you guys remember on stream, I ended up blowing the account that I got the last payout on accidentally while copy trading it with evals. I then bought 3 more accounts. So on those accounts, it's my Pro 234. And then those payouts got locked. So basically since the day I got the last payout, I blew the account, took 2 days to pass it, and then 3 days of profit to get the payout. You're good, Ron. Yeah, that was 3 Lucid Pro 50Ks. So we were able to get the max this time. Nice part that I realized though, with the way they do these with the buffer, I now essentially only need to make $2,000 over 3 days with 40% consistency. So what would that consistency be? Probably around 800 if my math's correct. Yeah. So technically if I make $800 2 days and then 400 the next, I get another max payout. Locked in my first payout, $500, my fund of futures, 25K rapid account. Hell yeah. We had an insane bearish candle. I longed it work. Logan, I mean, in chat, as irritating as it is, dude, the trade theses, eventually they happen, right? We eventually came up, once again, pre-New York. Our whole thesis yesterday for my longs, where I wanted to see 74.70 test, get a failure, lead to a bigger short. We fucking did it again pre-market, dude. We rallied directly into it. Obviously came a few points short. Hit this little resistance area I have marked. Slammed back down through the open, and there was a short. Did I take it? No, I waited and I caught the long back over 40s here. Logan, I'm seeing a lot of people struggle heavily in this market. And I mean, on stream, I've been doing phenomenal. It's clear as that. But overall, I'm still green on accounts, which is nice. I'm willing to take stabs in this market because all it takes is one stab and you make enough profit to lock yourself out, which is why I've been willing to do it. Yeah, Ron, that's huge, brother. Congratulations. Yeah, your first payout. When will it be paid? Rag, who'd you get a payout from? That's the big question. Because Lucid for me, and payouts keep getting a little tiny bit longer. I think this one was 22 minutes. Last one was like 16. But 22 minutes for Lucid. Yeah, my Lucid, this was my longest payout ever, and it was 22 minutes. So should be quick. My first one was sub 1 minute, which was crazy, but usually within an hour. Agreed, Ron. It's only the start, brother. Rag, the Norway time shouldn't matter because usually after like 5 p.m., they're pretty quick with payouts. Chat, let's see which way you guys are leaning on the day, shall we? Yeah, no matter what, Lucid will pay. As long as your KYC and all that's done and your account's connected, you're good. See where you guys are leaning. By the way, there's something else I have to show you guys in that channel, so let me go back to it. Chat, you want to see probably one of the craziest tags that I've gotten in Discord so far? Do you do the poll to fade the public? No, George. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. I just see what chat's leaning. It's hard for me to long NQ like this. I'll tell you that right now. ES is obviously a little bit stronger. I haven't done a deep dive on the indices yet, so we will do that. I just want to show you guys this real quick. One of you sons of bitches, Mr. Chris. I don't know if you're in here yet. May or may not have faded Ron last night during Globex. Got a payout. This motherfucker. Congratulations, but you son of a bitch. The tag is crazy though. Because I was like, damn, why'd someone tag me in P&L chat today? Bam. Yes, it's exactly how it works. Lately, yeah. I mean, if you've been scalping and fading the entries lately, not too bad. You might go a little red at first, but you end up hitting. Really interesting hold off 7450s on ES. Like, we're hitting. I don't want to draw another box here because Jesus Christ, we already have enough. But we know 70 is going to be a little resistance. I'm just going to move this one for now. Throw that right there. I like that. Took a bold short, caught 170 points on MQ. It moved that much already? Damn. NQ got smoked. What's moving that smoked NQ? Semiconductors. AMD's down 2%. NVIDIA's down 1%. MU is down 4%. Chat, what happened after hours? Thought tech earnings wasn't until tomorrow. Yeah, Reg, FOMC shouldn't impact this session much. It really shouldn't. But tomorrow, I do not plan to trade New York. Like, if I trade after stream, I'll be a little more cautious because it's getting later in the session. I may trade a little bit, obviously, depending on how session goes. But if I get any profit on this account that's like maybe 500 plus, I'm locking them out. I'm not even going to be worried about it. Yeah, MD, I know the oil aspect. Iran tried to send ballistic missiles again. So I know that probably shot oil up a little bit. So that makes sense on oil. Full port delusive bonus during FOMC. No. Vish, I got 2 payouts in the last week not full porting news and data. So we're not going to do that. Could you imagine? Well, I mean, if I can get 2 evals, just send them. Wow, dude, NQ daily just looks horrible. One thing I do want to keep an eye on, though, is this hold around 850s. These prior all-time highs on the daily where we pivoted, held, and pushed back. Or we pivoted, held, and then pushed back through. We hold that. It could be a short-term low. I'm not saying I'm overly bullish on NQ. But to be honest, this isn't where I'd be more interested in a broader short. If I was Dream World short, it's going to be the same thesis I've talked about the past few streams, but now on the daily chart. With this lower wick off this area, off this consolidation, huge if, we hold 800s, give me a rally up to here. Give me 28 fives. If you really want to be bearish, slam me off of that. Maybe FOMC shoot me up towards that. CPI or whatever the next data is Thursday. Or GDP, I think. Just absolutely mantle off of it. That would be Dream World short. Do I think we get there? I have no clue. But this daily, I have very little interest in NQ. We're dead center of the daily candle. I like to be near the edge of one or the other most of the time. Or at least something on the 4 hour. For this 4 hour, I mean, if we maintain below 27,885s, which is the prior 4 hour low right here, we can keep this more bearish. If we get above that, I don't really have a lot of interest in shorts just because we're trying to set a broader failure to go lower. And if we get any type of break over 28, then we can easily see a little bit of a push up at least towards like 28.2s, which is around today's highs. So I'm more so interested in just seeing how the price market or how the stock market reacts here. If we hold below that 885s, I think NQ can be pretty bearish. How's the dollar doing at the moment? MD, the chart I watched doesn't open till 7:45. So dollar's a little stagnant. We're not going to know where that gaps up, at least for me, for another 30 minutes. Daily's kind of neutral at the moment on it. So we'll see. For daily buy in oil. Hassan, isn't it crazy how that lines up? NQ, what do you mean, how do I trade them? For me, if you're like talking about risk to reward, I'm usually risking anywhere between $200 to $500 on those accounts. Just depending on the trade, the structure. If I see a really nice 2R trade that I have high conviction on, I have no problem risking $400 to $500 to hit that target and just lock the account out. But I mean, yeah, that's how I trade them. Right now, I have 3 copy traded. So whenever you guys see P&L, you see 3 accounts actively being traded. At least unless I take them off copy trading. But for ES, we do have a little bit of a stronger daily structure. Obviously, towards the upper half of the prior daily candle, which is currently a full inside bar, we weren't able to break yesterday's lows, which is a pretty good tell so far. If we get above the open, I mean, on the daily, there's not really much to do. One thing I would love if I wanted to short, give me above this high, give me back up to 85s, and then slam it off into the New York session tomorrow. Doesn't have to happen, but that would be like a really, really nice short. While ES is above 74, 77, 50, or no. 74, 58, 25. So this 4-hour low, I lean a little more to the upside than downside just because we're already getting that fair to go lower. The hourly shows the same example. Little fair to go lower depending how this hourly closes. If we get above the open and push, I think we could easily see 85s. It's 20 points away, but that's not a little crazy rally, even if we just want to build a broader hourly range here, right? We don't have to look for some extravagant break, just a little push up into there. I'd be interested in it. But if we do maintain holding below the open, if this hourly pushes back to close a little bit more bearish, I'd be interested in seeing how Tokyo opens at 8 and then see if we can break these lows for a bigger push down. So we are still in a more neutral market. Right now, the 15-minute doesn't look bad. We are at a bit of a resistance from these prior lows towards the end of the day. So we just have to watch and see how we react to them. I wouldn't say there's any setup at the moment that I'm like dying to get into. Do I think there's opportunity if we break above the open? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and the hard part is oil just got slaughtered so aggressively. Obviously, it's erased a chunk of that move. But for me to get any buying conviction now on this chart, if it gets over 83.5s, I think it can rip. If we maintain below it, we may end up just pushing back below on this daily and it won't look great. Why am I on the 4-day? Yeah, so we'd push back below the prior daily high and it wouldn't look amazing. Gold looks, if you want a short, gold's the weakest chart out there. Not saying it's going to be a short, but that is definitely the weakest chart at the moment. How's NKD doing? Not amazing. All right, chat, what are you guys watching? I feel like we're at a point where we're just in between that low on ES. So 58s and then the open, which is 63s. So we're in a little 5-point area that I'm not overly interested in jumping in it. If we get outside of that, then yeah, I get a little bit of conviction. Copper, hell yeah, Maverick. Looking when to add you. Yeah, short Praga. When'd you get in? I like it, MD. Typically, those are going to move with the negative correlation to each other. So I like it. I'm just not convinced on the 5-minute structure for shorts yet, if I want them. Hourly stronger, 30 stronger, 15 stronger. Obviously, we still have a little bit of time for that with 8 minutes. And we do have some stronger candles right now, which is interesting for sure. 65% bearish today. All right. Yeah, Mad King. That's just the NASDAQ, brother. Especially when volatility with wars going on, you're going to get that. No matter what time frame we're trading. Cam, you said you're going long because the chat voted bearish or something I said? Mad King, valid. 100% valid. I wanted to see that. If I wanted a long, I wanted that 15-minute to be an inside bar. We're not quite doing that. So now I got to wait a little bit. Yeah, most are bearish. I mean, typically most people say fade the masses. It's only 6. It's slowly going lower, though. People keep jumping in and voting bullish. Only 43 of y'all voted. Cam, what do you mean by monthly gap? Why did it do 13? Oh, I'm dumb. Craziest part is people are extremely bearish on ES and just obviously the market in general. This is what the ES monthly looks like. We're quite literally just an inside bar. We haven't gone anywhere at all. Not even near the highs or the lows of the prior candle. If you're more bearish on NQ, I get it. NQ monthly looks like shit for now unless we get back above that 28.5s. Then it gets a little more bullish. Those monthly charts really don't tell a lot. What do the other ones look like? YM hit new highs, RTY right up near all-time highs. So yeah, I'm still neutral fully. I'm far from being overly bearish unless we crack that support. Micromaster, what's SKHY? I don't know what that is. Hey, trades. What about weekly NQ? I mean, looking at the weekly NQ, can we pull back more? Yeah. Are we below the prior week's lows? Yes. If we truly wanted to, we could pull back all the way down to like 26.7s without any problems. But so far, I view this as just more of a pullback at the moment. I'm not overly bearish on this at all. If it wants to continue selling, I'll short. But I'm open to trading either direction every single day until I get a way cleaner structure. RAM chip producer. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, we have a huge support here on Tesla. Prior all-time highs. If we hold it, we can definitely hold. I mean, if you're looking for dip buys or DCAs, could be a decent area. For me, I usually wait a little bit, or at least, I don't know, because it just really depends on the indices. Like if the indices push higher, Tesla can easily rip back up to 350s without much hesitation. Easily. Do I think it's going to happen overnight? No, but it needs a lot of help there. Tesla's definitely one of the weaker charts out there right now. It's just charts like this aren't something I'm overly interested in buying. I usually like to watch, see if it holds support a little bit, and then look for it. But I'm obviously not talking long term. I'm just talking like shorter term, weekly swing trades. Micromaster, SKHY is the reason Kospi circuit breaked yesterday. What up, Dougie? No, A-Trades. A-Trades asked if I'm playing stock futures. Stock futures did exactly what I thought would happen and what we talked about on stream a million times. There's currently zero liquidity. If they're actually fully launched, there is like zero liquidity on those names. And their problem right now is they're going to have to get funds to quit trading the individual stocks and rotate towards the futures instruments for them to even be reasonable to trade. I think it's a really good concept, but even Tradeovate put out a thing saying that they have a plan, like they're trying to backtest, make sure all the numbers are correct for them to launch an account. And there's not enough liquidity for them to even do that. So thus far, it's a huge flop, but we'll see if the liquidity picks up a little bit. Hopefully it does, MD. So we're going to have a stronger 30-minute and 15-minute close here. If anyone's bullish, you really want it to hold for the next 30 for the most part. My problem is I just don't see an entry here that I would want to take. All the indices are slowly grinding. They're all pretty much in little channels other than NQ. Like if you look at ES, nope, wrong one. Thus far, it's essentially following like that. And then you can see RTY, clear as day, is sitting in that. So those two are a little bit stronger than the others. So I'm watching them on my other monitor, but for now I'm just watching ES and NQ. MD, NQ for me, it's just if we can get above 27, 885s and maintain above it, which is the prior 4-hour low, I lean to the upside. If we get above that and break the open, then I think we can try to really push towards 28,200s. That is my whole thesis on NQ. Keep it really simple, but I think that would be like the broader strategy that I'd be leaning towards. So if that sets up, you're looking for a possible 400-ish points to the upside on a broader move. What up, Brandon? The poll in chat is ever so slowly flipping bullish. We're not there yet. We're almost 50-50. I'm gonna be honest though, I would love a big rally into FOMC. Give me a rally up into FOMC, let the statement come out. FOMC gives you some volatility, ends up being relatively flat because they're really going to pay attention to GDP in general. FOMC, the results are probably already priced in unless they do something that we don't expect. So I would anticipate that meeting to be a little more flat with a little bit of volatility, but we'll see. In longs currently? Hell yeah, brother. Where'd you get in? What up, trader? I was watching down here, but I wanted that 15 minute to close more of an inside bar and look for the 3-bar play to the upside. But we got a little bit of a push. We have ES above the open. It's the only one thus far that is above the open. So we're going to have to see how NQ can maintain right now. We're getting strong buying pressure here, though. $760, beautiful entry. Cam, you did say you were fading the chat poll. I mean, you said it, clear as day. You said chat's bearish. Fuck it, we ball. I mean, Brandon, it's only a shitty fill if the market gets a big retracement, right? And depending on your setup. You got in at 58 as we broke over this prior high. I don't hate it as long as we maintain that. Especially if we get hold and get above 900s. In reality, if NQ goes up to the open, I would expect pullbacks to maybe trail down to 900 and not necessarily much lower. If we do push lower than that, obviously the market would get a little more bearish. Dennis, one, it's a different asset between trading options and futures. Options, you're trading the Greeks in the end. A lot of people talk about trading the overall price action. Yes, price action matters, but the Greeks matter a hell of a lot more when you genuinely look into how options move. That's why you guys see me trading NVIDIA at times when I see the options drastically mispriced, where it doesn't make sense for the move that it can make. But it's also prop firms have rules, right? They have rules you have to follow, and some of them are pretty strict to be able to get a payout. Options, you just do your own thing. Options, you can have one big day that makes your month or year, and you're good. You can't really do that with prop firms. I mean, you can if you get a payout, but it's not from one day of trading. I really wish we didn't break on that 15 yet. But we are thus far getting a really strong hourly close. So, I mean, even in Q, if you want to be more reserved with targets, you just look towards the New York session high, 180 points. If we get an entry. I am stalking the RTY on my other monitor. What up, Ali? How you doing? Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, MD, I ran fired ballistic missiles. We intercepted all of them, but most of that doesn't really matter. It doesn't. The whole war aspect matters a lot more in the beginning, and especially when we're talking about the ceasefire, peace deal type aspect, but a majority of it's likely already priced in. What up, SO? You're good, SO. I don't blame you. Get them giveaways. $60 lucid daily is crazy. What up, West? How you doing? If we got a bit of a pullback on ES, I wouldn't be opposed to taking a stab on an entry. One thing I don't love is NQ currently rejecting this. And that's why I'm being more patient at the moment. Obviously, the entry that I wanted didn't fully set up. But I'm being very cautious of NQ rejecting this because if we slam off these lows, that could be an easy lower high on the 15. And NQ can be enough to start to push the market down. The other indices like RTY is holding up well, obviously not above the open yet. ES is above the open with a little bit of relative strength and YM's fighting it. I think if the semiconductors weren't selling off, we would easily be seeing a rally. Wasn't MU just down 4%? Yep. Yeah, MD, you anticipate it to slow near. I mean, I anticipate NQ to slow around these prior lows. But if we get a big rejection, to me, that's more bearish. If we end up consolidating around it, it shows buyers are holding it up near it. And they're going to continue to test to see if bears are going to reject it. But if we do get above, I think we can easily see some continuation. MD, if it fits your criteria, let it rip, brother. I'm kind of just stalking a few different charts at the moment. If I want to long, though, I would like pullbacks. I really don't like longing into this resistance on NQ because the probability of even a pullback stopping anything out is pretty high. I just think if we do break it, we could see some pretty strong buying. Nice, MD. Chat, you guys did anything right now? I know some of you guys are probably looking to short. Some of you guys are probably in longs. Looking for shorts? Don't blame you. Shorts on gold. I mean, it's probably the most valid trade out there at the moment. As long as it holds below the open, probably the most valid trade in the market. We got the dollar opening in a minute. I'm just very interested in how NQ reacts here. Chat, I'm going to try a bit of an unconventional trade for what I trade. But I'm going to take a long on the RTY. Oh, it's a solid fill. Told you if we get above that area on an NQ, we can really start to push. And it did it. We'll see if we can get continuation. At this point, though, I'm already going to move this stop up to 62.5. It's where I initially wanted it. I want to throw a little bit of a wider stop on that I was willing to take. For me, this is a higher time frame aspect. Can we reject? Yes. But if we can hold the open, I like it. What was that? That is buying pressure, my guy. Who cares about the news on something like that when if you look at the chart in reality, kind of like we talked about on NQ, if we are able to get above this, and you can rewind probably 90 seconds and hear me say it. If we can get above this, we will likely see some aggressive buying pressure. Broke, ripped. Pretty straightforward structure. Now we're right at the highs of the range, right? Right up here at the end of day resistance. We break this, we'll likely head a little bit higher towards 28.080s. Just price action. Just some basic price action. Yeah, SO, after 5 p.m. close, it's a new day. 2K in about 2 minutes. Hell yeah, finessed. Love it, brother. Chat, I'm going to be honest. I would love higher on the RTY. If we hit right here, my accounts are fully locked out. I set a profit target there. I don't want to explode over the buffer to make it harder for me to get a payout. This is already more than I need to make. So I'm okay with it, but I am front running 80 if we get up there, as well as locking myself out. All right, stop's going to 64. If it even matters at this point. See if we can get that push. Took 954 on 3 micros. Hell yeah. Locking out of one account, hit consistency. Let's go, chat. All right, let's go right above break even to 66.5. Now I'm willing to just let it ride. Big thing here, though, is this. Yesterday's high on ES. If we get above that, what's likely to happen? Because look at these charts. I know it's going to be harder to see because they're lower, but I'll talk about each one individually, right? We now have ES, which had the relative strength, pushing us up into yesterday's highs. If we get over yesterday's highs, what will likely happen? We'll likely see NQ attempt that same aspect, which can get us up to 28.2s. It would look, a little dumb if I talked about a 300-something point move on NQ, didn't take it. But to be honest, the RTY looked good. So we'll see if the RTY gets continuation. Right now, we're sitting up really nice. Should be up a little over 2R minimum. I'd have to see what my initial risk was on this. But like I said, though, if NQ was able to get over this while ES was above the open, we could easily see a push. If the semiconductors weren't selling off, I think the market could get a pretty strong move. At this point, if we want to continue, and NQ obviously gets above that 27,885s, which we talked about in the beginning, closes strong on the hourly, closes strong on the 4-hour, we're not far from 28.2s. We're truly not. ES, if it wants to rip, we are at a decent size resistance. If it continues strength over this, you have room towards that 515, 520s that we've been watching for a few days. That is a large move. And that is very easily achievable, in my opinion. No, Mad King, if you're not in right now, I would not be looking to dive in longs here. Can it continue? Yes, but your stop loss is either going to be momentum based or very wide, and your risk to reward isn't going to make sense. Not in, staying far away. Hell yeah. Do I sell or do I hold? NQ, where was your target? All right, chat. I raised this up to 70. Because we could easily pull back at this point. Obviously, we can still continue. My thing here is if I hit this, I lock one of the 3 days. I'm good. I will, honestly, when this trade closes, whether it's the trailing stop or target, I'll likely buy 2 more Lucid accounts and trade those. I will have no interest in trading this until tomorrow's session. Previous week's low is your target. Oh, so yesterday's high, today's high. Yeah, I mean, that's the target I love, up around 200s. Maybe front running it for the most part, but I mean, I love that target on a broader scale. I'm not saying hold to that. Obviously, we made an aggressive move. You are up. even on one contract, a hell of an amount. You got in at 760s, minimum 330 points. Brother, that's a trade. That is, in fact, a hell of a trade. Are Lucid Dailies your flavor? No, I'm on the pros. Mike is trailed out. If we get trailed out, it'll be about 1.2R, which I'm okay with. Was up around 2.7, but we're looking for 3.8. You're up over 200 points on a mini? Hell yeah. And Q? My entry was 939, keeping a runner. Beautiful. Yeah, you're up 130 points. But this is also a good example for the person that said they probably got a late entry at like 58s, whatever it was. Like I said, as long as we maintain this 900s area, you are sitting beautiful. Right? We didn't pull back. You got, I don't even know what that 5-minute candle was, point-wise. You had a 135.5-minute candle. Another probably 80 points after that, so you should be sitting lovely. But in this trade, I am trailing stop. It is at 29.70, and we'll see if we get continuation. Short gold is your only comment. No, not at all. With the indices doing this, can gold shorts work? Yeah. I said if it gets above the open, I would have zero interest. If we get back below the open and we fail, this hourly starts pushing lower, 100% you can short. Looks good. But while the 4 hour is above the prior 4 hour low and the open, not interested, personally. I think it's a really way to get caught. Unless you have a setup that gives you an exact entry that you love, then let it ride. But me personally, the way I want to trade, wouldn't be overly interested. Brother, if you've been in an entry since yesterday, you're sitting wonderfully. But if you're in an entry somewhere in this, why would I want to short down here? That don't make sense. What do you mean below is where the trap is? Sitting pretty in your long. Damn right you are, Brandon. Brandon, were you the one that got in at 58? 858? Holding the 168. Beautiful. Nice entry. Yeah, as long as it held 900, that entry was lovely. Yeah, I'm in this. I literally got in and probably sub 3 seconds, we got the move. You're good, Brandon. Or no, that's how Asia be, brother. Asia gives you beautiful price action once every week and a half for the most part. Sometimes we get blessed and we get like a whole week of it. But most of the time, it's a broader range. KMJM, the timing literally couldn't be better. My problem was the second I entered, there's like a 2-second delay on stream. That move might have happened as I said I was longing. But I said I was stalking RTY. Today I had the biggest trade in the span of time, but it was also my worst tilt day, dude. Lost 2 evals that were halfway past. One guy eval went to trade the eval full port, lost 1K and was funded. Brother, I definitely wouldn't say it's your biggest trade in the span of time because you tilted and full ported. In my personal opinion, those trades don't count towards any stat whatsoever. Because I could easily dump my bank account in Robinhood, catch a 100% trade and be like, biggest trade of my life. And 100% trades are easy as hell to catch on options. But it's just the premise of it with stuff like that, I don't count. Like if I tilted my ass off and locked in a payout, it's a payout, but I'm not proud of it. Zay, you got bigger things going on that you got to deal with, brother. There will be more bull worms. Don't you worry. Erdo, if you are struggling after having a really big week, size down. 1,000%. It's exactly what I do. It's exactly what I talk to other people about doing. If you are ever in a trading funk, just size down to where you do not care about the P&L number at all, win or loss, even if you're risking $100 or $50. Lock into the strategy, get your confidence and execution back up, and then size back into it. Agreed, MD. That's why you guys don't, like, you guys obviously see my P&L on stream, but I haven't posted the fact that I had like 3 $1,200 to $1,500 days the last 3 days. I don't care about that. None of the numbers matter until you get the payout. Because I could trade 5 different eval or funded accounts every single day, not copy traded, and post the winning P&L. And obviously it would look phenomenal. Buggy. The longest time I have ever been away from the market was probably when I was on vacation in Jamaica. I've never personally had a point where I was looking at the chart and saying I've been trading bad and I've stepped away. If I have a problem with trading in my execution, I want to work on it. Even if I'm going to continue to lose money, I want to work on correcting that because in my mind, in the way I work, if I step away, all I'm going to be thinking about is getting into the market and working on correcting my mistakes. And just wanting to do better. Did you pick up any Jamaican slang? Not really. We weren't there long enough. Plus, most of it I probably forgot because it was like a year and a half ago. I want to go back somewhere tropical though, because me and my brother need to go scuba diving again. All right, we got Asia open. Let's see if we nuke this entire move or if we break new highs. Obviously, we got the strongest hourly close in the world. If it pulls back to stop me out, is what it is. Hell yeah, Blambo. Yeah, 1 second, Bash. I'm just watching to see how this candle reacts. Yeah, but Young, didn't you say you full ported the biggest winner? AUB, the number one thing you need to do is get yourself used to taking risks. See you later, Cam Jim. Nice trade, brother. But you have to be okay with risk. You truly do. My initial risk on this trade was $400. I was willing to lose that, even though I just got in a payout. It was like $440 because the overall return on it is around $1,300 if it hits target. And honestly, my target would love to be higher, but that's where my account would lock me out with my settings. But it's just, and especially when you're in drawdown, you have to give yourself a number where if you lose this amount, you're done trading. And mind you, I'm currently talking about that when yesterday I said I was done trading and I traded again. because I saw a setup that I loved. I accepted the risk of the extra $200 for the potential of getting that account back flat, giving myself an opportunity to trade today on it. And it worked well. And I was fully okay with that. I accepted that before I got into it. It was either going to be a bigger $800 losing day, or I was going to be able to trade New York and get the opportunity of potentially getting a bigger trade to get a payout. How many RTY contracts to trade? Right now, Rav, because of my stop loss, I'm only in 2. If I used this stop loss and made it tighter, then I would have been willing to up it to like 3, possibly 4. So it all depends on risk parameters and stop. But yeah, brother, you definitely, like when you're doing well in the markets in good conditions that you like, you don't want to be sizing aggressively down because you're scared at that point. You never want to trade scared. And it takes time to get over that. It truly does. What most likely it is confidence. And you don't fully have the confidence in either your execution or your strategy in general. And you just need to work on that. The only way to work on that is time in the market. Because when you have the confidence that your strategy works, or at least your execution works, then a risk is just a risk. It is what it is. It's part of the game in general. And in the end of the day, you can have any strategy you want in the world. Trading is just a numbers game. It is fully statistics from a day-to-day perspective. Because let's say if you just take 2.5 hour trades, you need like a 30% win rate around there to even be break even. Can you explain the entry? Yeah. Well, I'll start off by what I talked about in the actual chat itself. I was initially watching ES back around this 15 minute, but I wanted this one to be more of an inside bar because I really like the hourly sweep of the lows. The hourly sweep of the lows led to the 4 hour starting to fail to go lower. If the 4 hour fails to go lower, we set a 4 hour lower high, which can really push higher. The main pivot I was watching was ES around this NQ around this 920s, right? We had already broken back above the 4 hour low, which was this wick around 85. If we got above this resistance, I said we should easily see some pretty aggressive buying pressure step in. I ended up getting an RTY based off of structure personally because of what the chart looks like. On the lower time frames, we were consolidating up near the highs on the 4 hour, on the hourly as well. Bull flagging underneath a bigger resistance, right? Bull flag consolidation, whatever the hell you want to call it. We ended up getting that stronger buying pressure, leading to the 4 hour giving me more conviction. It didn't hit that 4 hour low like every other index did. The RTY had some relative strength, even though it wasn't fully above the open yet, which got me more interested in the potential of it pushing to where my target would be if I wasn't going to be locked out, would be up around this like 81.5s, around this little 4 hour pivot high. You could use the 4 hour pivot high or the hourly pivot high. So right around 81.5 would be my broader target. 81.5 to like 84s. I, though, if this continues, will be out well before then. Appreciate you, Polar Bear. Damn, CJ. I'm on, size down. That's the number one thing you should have done right away. If you were, and that's why some prop firm, that's honestly why I'm starting to really, really like the pros on Lucid. Because you can't, like once you're over the $2,100 buffer, I can't withdraw below that. See you later, Ron. But on that, like no matter what amount I withdraw, I cannot withdraw below 2,100. And I think that is one of the best rules out there because I'm guaranteed $2,000 of drawdown after every single payout, no matter what. Yeah, I'm capped at $2,000 in withdrawals, but oh well. I personally love that feature. Like right now on this account, I started the day with like $2,135 in it. Well, all three accounts, because this is copy traded right now. And so I had a full drawdown. But if you take a withdrawal and your drawdown is cut in half, you don't have the same drawdown. So in theory, if you have half the drawdown, your size should be half, unless you want to be more aggressive on that account. There's no scenario that I see where you should be trading the exact same size unless you're just like, you know what? Fuck it, we're going aggressive. And usually that's either going to be a hit. It's either going to rip right away and you're going to do well, or you're going to do what happened, take a loss, and now you really have to size down. By the way, something that's also cool. Yeah, dynamic sizing is huge. I mean, you guys see it. There's days I use 7 micros on ES. There's days I use 20. I don't size the same on every single trade. This on RTY during Asia session, I have no problem using 3 minis, possibly 4, depending on risk. Because I'm willing to risk up to $400 or $500. RTY, let's say you wanted a tight stop, you could get a 2-point stop pretty easily a lot of times in this market. But with the risk that I needed initially with my stop down around like 61.5s, I knew with that stop loss at 4.4 points, I can't risk 4 contracts. I can't risk 3 contracts. It just didn't make sense. I would have already been max profit locked out right now, but I'm okay with that. Appreciate you hunting pips. And my cleave, there was a stint where it was like that for me as well, but all it is mindset, right? It's not because you're trading Lucid, but it's just how you're trading the account most likely, and it is what it is. But it's good though. If you don't do well on Lucid, but do well on another prop firm, rip the other prop firm. That's actually something that I do. If I, like, let's say I'm trading, obviously I'm trading Lucid right now. If I start trading like shit on these accounts, I'll go buy more Tradeify accounts. I'll start trading Tradeify. Just for the psychological switch, because 1, it switches my broker, and 2, it switches the overall rules and accounts I'm following. So that is something I do as well, even though it is fully psychological. Rav, my question is, you said my issue is fear. I do very good practice. I do very good on practice accounts, but struggle by revenge trading on evals. What are you fearful of? Yeah, Bass, 100%. Loss. Okay. What's your risk per trade? $590. Brother, no wonder you're fearful of loss. If you're using a practice account, I would assume you're early on in your trading journey. If you're early on in your trading journey, you should not be risking $500. In full honesty, I rarely risk $500. It's not needed on a singular trade. You give yourself, like, let's say, I'm just assuming here that you're earlier on in your trading journey, still perfecting your craft, because you said you're on a practice account, right? Most people who are doing well or consistent won't be on a practice account. You are at a point where you are not fully consistent, only giving yourself 4 bullets in the chamber on every single account you get. That doesn't make sense. The numbers aren't going to be there because you're going to lose 4 trades in a row while learning. You are. That's just the cost of trading. What I would do is wholeheartedly size down, not focus on trying to pass the eval fast, which is likely what is leading to a larger risk, and just take the time. It's a one-time fee for most prop firms, so you only got to pay $100. Risk $200. See how that feels. Size down until you do not care and do not have a fear of your loss, because you shouldn't. You guys haven't seen a single time in my trading on stream where I've been like, I'm not comfortable with this loss at all while actively in this trade. No, I'm on. You just go to Mitch's Instagram. So just do !Mitch. Just go to his Instagram. He has a link tree in his bio that you can sign up for. You go to his WAP, go to products, and then click on the list of products, and it'll be in there. It'll say group session or something like that. I was actually looking at it before stream. Vish, that's a very relative question. You said what's considered early in trading journey. That's very relative. Because you could be 2 years in and still be early on because you don't have a grasp on your concepts yet, right? It depends on how fast the individual is moving. If you have a defined strategy that you know exactly to trade and you're just working on it, working on fine-tuning it, I wouldn't say you're early in the journey. You're just still learning, which is okay. But especially with timing on trading in general, it's relative to everybody. Some people do very, very well year one. Some people don't do well until year 5. And that shit, it just is what it is. It's up to the individual person. Appreciate you, Amnam. Anam. I always say that wrong. What up, AMG? Yeah, Rev, just especially when this is something a lot of people probably struggle with and don't realize it. And it took me a while to realize it as well. You will know when you can size up your trading. There's no specific time where you get X amount of payouts or this many green days where you can size up. Because if that was a theory, I should easily be risking $1,000 per trade without any hesitation. I know I can't risk $1,000 per trade because I enter a trade risking $1,000 and I'm like, fuck, I really don't want this to hit my stop loss. And I don't want that feeling. So if you ever enter a position and immediately think that, you're too much size. You should be using the size in a trade where you truly do not care if that stop loss gets hit. Because you'll make it back plus more when you're on your next winning trade. My man, Julian, it means a lot, brother. If you want any of my socials, do ! Ron G. I don't post a lot on Instagram, but I probably should. I should probably start doing that. But to be honest, I go through these cycles where I post less on Instagram because my whole main focus about everything is just bettering my trading. And I fully neglect Instagram. So I got to find a middle ground about it. Just took my Lucid Pro account from 129 left to drawdown to 49,339. What an entry. I mean, shit, what an entry. Polar Bear, I get locked out of my accounts. I could aim higher. I'm not going to mess myself up with consistency on these. It doesn't make sense for me to do that. So I'm not aiming higher personally. But I'm aiming for 13 points because I have my daily lockout set for 1,300. I'm on. It is Mitch's class is paid. But no, if I was looking for a higher target, I already mentioned I'd be looking for like 81.5 to 84s to target there and then see how we react to it. But no, I'm sure if you meant for me. I'm sure if I like messaged Mitch, he'd probably let me in. To be honest though, that's not the kind of person I am. Like if I'm homies with somebody, you pay your homies. Unless they make you not do it. If I wanted to be in Mitch's class, I would pay for it. And then if Mitch was like, dude, what the hell, and just sent the money back, it is what it is. But I would 100% pay for it. You should never, especially because my family's in the industry where we like serve food at fairs and stuff. You should never expect to get free shit from friends if you're truly their friend. But me and my family, on the other hand, if my buddies show up to the trailer, we are feeding them a buffet and we do not care. Started maybe 3 years ago, on and off, still beginning because I literally just started actually learning once I decided to get the rate trades off. Yeah, NY Cleve, that's the thing too. And a similar aspect that a lot of people would understand it with is like the gym. You could have been going to the gym for 5 years now, but you never took it seriously. If you just all of a sudden start locking in, let's say 3 months ago, to where you're doing everything consistently, meal prepping, working out, following a regimen, I would say you've been going to the gym for 3 months, not 5 years, 3 months, you know? And that's just my perspective on things. Like, how long have you been taking it seriously is the main number. See you, Mosfab. Sorry to hear that, brother. What up, Christian? How you doing, brother? Couldn't imagine how you feel streaming. Polar Bear, I mean, it's not going to be... Some dude on the Melly stream tried to clown me for going short, and then it ended up hitting at 4 p.m. Yeah, Polar Bear, it happens. It's just... Like, as much as I appreciate you guys being here, I truly do not give a shit about commentary on my entries. I don't. I really don't. Because, one, it's not going to impact me at all. If it does, then I'll just exit the trade because I don't want to be emotional while in a trade. But the trade's either going to work or it's not. There's a 50-50 probability either this hits target or this trails me out right here. And if I tried to appease the 200 people that are in here, somebody's going to hate my entry. Somebody's going to hate every single aspect about the way I trade. That's just the world. What'd you long? Nice trade. RTY. Yeah, Jackson, 1 second. Let me catch up on chat. What are you looking for on entries? Subto Shen, I'm not looking for entries right now. Do I think the market could continue if we continue to get buying pressure? Yes, 100%. But for me, and I'm not one, I fully believe this. And someone actually, I explained it earlier in chat as well. If I got in RTY down here, I have a very, very hard time telling somebody that it's a solid trade right here. Because I'm in this trade 9 points lower than that point. It could pull back, keep me in this trade, and stop you out. I just don't like doing that, so I usually don't. But overall, if you're looking for a more bullish continuation, just pay attention to the 15, right? Could we pull back to yesterday's high? Yeah, that looked great. But at the moment, we do have strong buying pressure. Bears are not pushing this any lower. This could be that opportunity where we get continuation. I think throughout the overnight, we can easily see more continuation of the upside. I mean, NQ, I just noticed, is already almost at the target that we mentioned, up at 200s. And it looks like it kind of wants it. But also depends on your trading strategy. If you're a scalper, this is beautiful for you. A little bit of consolidation, a little bit of a pullback, rip the lows, rip a little bit of a pullback, and go. This is a market, though, this session at least, where I'm willing to buy the dips if I'm not in a trade and eat a loss if I'm wrong. But you have to size accordingly to be able to do that. Because up here at this point, the entries are going to be riskier. At the gym listening to the stream, appreciate you, brother. Polar Bear, unfortunately, we don't make elephant ears, but we make something close. Evening, Corey. Yeah, AMG, this is the RTY. The funniest part is if I long the ES in the same spot, even with 12 micros like I did yesterday, I would have already been locked out. But, you know, pick your poison. What up, Perrin? Where's your stop? Right now, my stop is trailed at $29.70. So I'm guaranteed at least $410 in profit. Warlord, what account are you on? What prop firm are you using? And how much do you have to lose? No man is right mind would go against Polar Bear. As long as they don't have a hedging thing, you have to lose 3K. Brother, haven't you been in this situation before? Now, pay attention to TPT's rules, chat. Tell me if this is good or not because of their rules. Obviously, Tradeify has the micro scalping rule. If TPT does not have that, what you can do is trade the max micros you're allowed, enter the position, immediately exit. You will lose a couple $100. Do that until you get close, size down on the micros, and keep working your way lower. All you're doing is you're paying contract fees and slippage, and it will slowly bring your P&L back down. That is what I do. personally. Ollie, see what happens when I don't mention the one thing? People don't like the stream. Warlord. You just... Now you need to lose 5K. All right. Oh, don't tell me this is going to be the high and it's going to pivot. Anyways, stop is going to go to 71.5. Because if this is going to pull back, I ain't getting trailed. Or I'm not getting trailed down here. I'm locking in at least 560. There's no way it comes 7 ticks away and rejects. Ain't no way. Actually, 6 ticks. Stop loss Poppy. I've become a huge fan of Lucid Pros, personally. And in reality, if you're trading well, from the point you buy a Lucid Pro eval, you can get a payout in 3 days because you can get activated same day. Warlord, did you say it's an eval and you are at 60K? Brother, what the fuck are you doing over there? Also, are you copy trading 5 accounts? No, I have not bought more accounts yet. I got to pay out on these accounts today. I'm copy trading 3 accounts personally. The 3-day to payout, obviously. The exact difference, I focus more on the funded route, right? Because the only difference on the eval is the consistency. There's 50% on the flex, and there's 0% on the growth. Or pro, thinking of the other prop firm. But it's the funded. You have 40% consistency. So essentially just 3 decently green trading days. Get over $2,100, at least $500 over, and you can take a payout. But what I like is once you get over that buffer, every single payout I take, the account cannot go below $2,100. So I'm guaranteed after every payout to have $2,100 in there. And it's not 50% of your profits, even though it essentially is, because you can only take out to $2,100. So technically it's still 50% of your profits, but I just like the parameters of it. See you later, Rag. Did you ask a question earlier about strategy? I might have missed it. Oh, what are you looking for in entries? Oh, my strategy is mainly multi-time frame analysis from the higher time frames. I initially am going to get some conviction off the 4-hour. And to be honest, this week so far, I've mainly taken smaller losses. Yeah, I'll break that down here as well. I've taken smaller losses, but the initial plan has worked out. It's just usually happened at like 10, 20-ish after stream, which I've been lucky to be able to catch as well. But the thought process here is if you look at the other indices on the 4-hour chart per se, everything else broke below the prior 4-hour low. RTY did not, held that little bit of relative strength. At this point as well, we have a pretty strong consolidation up near the highs below a decent resistance. If we get buying pressure over that, we should easily see continuation up to new recent highs, obviously. While looking at that though, I was focusing on the NASDAQ and the ES. ES was already above the open. To be honest, if ES made this 15-minute inside bar, I would have longed ES, but it didn't do it, so I didn't long it. And the NASDAQ got above the prior 4-hour low, which was around 885. Once it did that, we have a clear resistance from the end of day on the 15 right here around 920s. I mentioned on stream right before we got in, if we break over this, we will likely see aggressive buying pressure. I got in the trade the second we broke over it, the market ripped. So it was a pretty quick move once we got the entry. Now it's just a slow, tedious aspect of can we hit new highs and fill this trim for me? Well, this exit for me. But no, a lot of it comes from multi-time frame analysis and then broader structural pivots that I'm targeting or looking for longs off of. If you could hedge on prop firms, would you? No. The only way I would hedge on prop firms would be the micro to mini hedging, because there's a way to trim one mini that I have done on personal accounts that you can't do on prop firms. And that is, you buy a mini. As you want to trim, you sell micros against it. And then you obviously exit all when you want to exit, because those micros will lose money as the mini goes higher. So you'll be technically risking less in general. What time are you going live? 7 p.m. Eastern. So I've been live for an hour and 27 minutes. Do you think NQ's reversing back down? Not at the moment. If it does, it does, right? NQ's obviously pushing a little bit lower. If it loses this like 070, 050 area, probably. For me though, I think I'm still interested in a broader long throughout the rest of the session. If this ends up being the high, this is the high. Will it suck ass to get this close and have it pull back? Yeah, it will, but it ain't the end of the world. Subto, I'm not necessarily sure what reverse entry. So you're looking for reversals? Cleve, these streams go by so quick sometimes. It's crazy. Rav, no, there is a prop firm. I believe it might be Tradeify. You cannot trade micros and minis at the same time for an asset. There's one prop firm out there with that rule. I believe it's Tradeify, but there's one that you're not allowed technically, and you will be flagged for it. Because I've looked it up and seen the rule, and I didn't like it. I didn't agree with it. Appreciate you, Red to Green. It means a lot, brother. For those of you that are new, because I've seen a few of you mention that, this is Project 365. Obviously, I'm not the guy in the thumbnail. I'm Ron G Trades. I trade the Asia session, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, sometimes later, obviously, depending on the market, depending on how chat's going, everything. A Zhang Allen trades pre-London, 1 a.m. Eastern to 3 a.m. Eastern. You have Rake Trades, the man of the stream, 8:30 a.m. to roughly 11:30. I don't know if he's streaming FOMC tomorrow or not. We'll see. Mitch is 12:30 to 1:30, and then Lamelli is 1:30 to 3:30. So there's 5 of us every single day. I start the stream. Well, Jake starts the stream off on Sunday at like 5:30. I kick off right after him, and then we stream all the way till Friday's close. Roughly 10 hours a day. Well, yeah, Aman, that's just taking a normal trade and trimming it. Is it bad, unpredictable trade after 9 p.m. Eastern? To be franky, I personally love trading after 9 p.m. Actually, not 9 p.m., 10 p.m. I love trading after 10 p.m. because you guys know I trade the 4-hour chart. That is the main chart I trade. And that's when we get this close. 10 p.m. Eastern, you get this close, start looking at overall structure, see if you get that continuation. Most of my trades this week, obviously off of stream, have been between 10 p.m. and like 3 a.m. And to be honest, I do a lot of late night trading, and y'all know my sleep takes a huge hit because of it sometimes. But, cost analysis. Yeah, red to green, we all trade slightly different. We do. I mean, I trade the broader multi-time frame analysis. A lot of patience involved in my strategy. I have no problem going an entire stream without trading or waiting for like a few hours for some type of entry. That doesn't bother me at all. Alan, he's a mix of waiting for stronger entries or scalping, depending on which way he wants to trade that day. But he is a fucking legend. Absolutely. He kills it either way, most streams. Jake is, I would say a little more aggressive, but he trades the multi-time frame analysis as well, but primarily off of levels for the most part. But he's definitely more of a 2-minute kind of trader, where I don't like using the 2-minute. I usually prefer like the 15 to 4 hour. Yeah, Jake obviously trades more aggressive, and it's just trading style. Mitch trades heavily off gamma, and then Lamelli trades ICT. John Switch, I actually don't really trade the NASDAQ personally. And it's funny because a mass majority of people viewing trade the NASDAQ. Like if I ran a poll right now, it would be 70-something% trade the NASDAQ. But I rarely trade it. Of course, red to green. But yeah, because I know you're newer to the session, you can pop in for like 15, 20 minutes on whatever stream you're able to. See if you like the vibes, and then jump in whatever stream you like. Chat does love when Jake trades the 15-second time frame, which is delusional. Did chat lose that account Jake was trading with them? Because I didn't see him trade it today, and I wasn't on stream yesterday. Did you guys yeet that account? Chat, what are you doing? To be fair, you guys were also degenerate as hell with it. Y'all were telling Jake to trade 10 minis on what, a 50K account? Or was it a 150? Either way, degenerates. Now, if I ever did something like that, 10 minis on a Sunday was funny. But that's not bad. And Mike Lee, if you're talking 10 minis and you're looking towards a Sunday, all right, you're going to have one of the more volatile Asia sessions. Okay, you're going to get opportunities. But if you tried to do that during this session, well, yeah, you can't go on the 15 seconds. Insane. If I ever did something like that with chat, we would have strict rules. Like we would have I would initially ask a bunch of rules, like what do you guys want to risk per trade no matter what? And that is our max risk. And if you guys said anything over $500, I would not do it. How many instruments do you trade? Primarily, ES is the main one. Occasionally, I'll trade RTY and YM, but ES is going to be the main asset that I trade. We need ES to hold yesterday's highs here, or I might get stopped, unfortunately. 15 minutes, a little more aggressive, might spike lower, which I don't want to see, but it makes sense. If I got stopped, it makes sense. Do you trade option today? Not today, Jeremy. Well, actually, yes, I did trade today. Chad, I'm gonna be honest. I went a little degen on the options. Because last week, after I made what was it? I made like 4K off NVIDIA or something. Then I made 20, like I lost 500 the next day. Then I made like 2,000 or something on Friday. I withdrew everything but $300. Grew the 300 today to like 1,200. Tried to absolutely full send towards end of day. Back down to 300. So, win some, lose some. I tried to go for the big gusto. Didn't get it. What's your target for this trade? For me, it's just 79s. But I'll be honest, if we get back up there without stopping me out, I would anticipate us to break higher, especially now that we're consolidating, pulling back. I don't know if my stop's going to hold here or not. We'll see, because it is just below these prior lows. Really, obviously, it just depends on how ES wants to trade off of yesterday's high and how NQ wants to trade off this 28.020s at this little support. If we hold those, this can easily continue. But if we get this push back up towards the highs, I would expect a little bit higher on RTY. But no, I have a stop at 71.5 with a full out at 79. Big Bang Clips, I just don't love NQ, especially during Asia session. I've traded NQ on stream. I've done well at times with it. I've also gotten stopped out by 30 points on MNQ when NQ never got down there. So I don't like the discrepancy between NQ and MNQ. That's the main reason I do not trade NQ. Because also the way I size, I can't logically rip a mini. Jeremy, the only way you know when to size up is trial and error. Size up a little bit if you are comfortable with the losses, cool. And that is the main way to do it. Are you comfortable with losing this trade after you lose it? If so, congrats, you found a size you can use. If not, go right back down. What about gold? Dude, me and gold do not agree. We don't. I love charting gold. I chart gold very well. I have not traded gold enough. Like, I've probably taken 5 gold trades in my entire trading career. And when I take gold trades, I think 2 out of those 5 have worked out. And the volatility gets me on the lower time frames, especially during Asia session, because you get these kind of wicks that just slam out randomly. I don't do well on gold during Asia session, so I just avoid the asset. I will break down the gold chart anytime someone asks it without any hesitation, because honestly, it's really easy to do analysis on, but I haven't found a way that I personally like to trade it, so I just avoid it. Dude, I lost 650 either my data or my funded futures. Press sell. I did nothing again. Nothing I changed. Time frame. Sold again. And all of a sudden 3 minutes. Young, did you have an order set that you forgot about? Ollie, I do. I mean, when oil's there, when I love an oil trade, I will rip oil. It's been a minute since I've traded it. I don't like the strength on oil. I'll tell you that. It's been a minute since I've traded, but when I trade oil, I will absolutely rip oil every single day, nonstop. What up, Johnson? How you doing? Yeah, Big Bang Clips. I just haven't found the sizing I like on gold. I haven't found the stop I like on gold. So there's a lot of things I would have to work with. Red to green. I truly do not care about gaps on futures. I don't. Because if we fully focus on gaps with futures, I'd be willing to bet if you go like back here. People who focus on gaps. Well, NQ needs to sell off to 2,000, or RTY needs to sell off to 2,000 right now. It needs to sell off 1,000 points to go fill this gap. Gaps don't always fill. At some point, could RTY absolutely go bear market mode and fill this? Yeah. But I do not focus on gaps. Too many people over focus on gaps, target them. Do they fill a majority of the time? Yeah. But I don't like to target them. I will focus on structure. If there's a gap and structure agrees, yeah, this looks like it should fill, then I'll trade towards it. But for me, it's just structure and trend, right? We broke above this resistance. Where would my broader target be on RTY if we get continued buying pressure? Up here, right around this 81.5s to 84s. If you look back across as well, you can see it's been a pretty big pivot. Spiked down here a few times, tested it, held all these times from below. Solid target. So like 81 to 85 is a really big area for me. But I will be out of this trade before that if it either trails my stop or we get up to 79. Yep, agreed. I do basically like a top-down thesis analysis. I want to see if I have conviction on the higher time frames. If not, I'll try to find it on the lower time frames. But my best trades and setups are going to come from when I have conviction on the higher time frames. Why did RTY likely get continued buying pressure? It broke above this little resistance and today's highs, which in theory, we break above today's highs. We should get continuation. This 5 minute should spike me out here, looking at structure. Unless ES somehow holds it, but it is very close. Which if it does, I will be full cash and likely not trading again since there's only 19 minutes left. Ollie, single stock futures did exactly what I thought. There's no volume right now. I don't even know if you can actively trade it, but there's zero volume on those. It's a big trial and error aspect. They have to get the volume off of the individual names onto the futures, which if you're a hedge fund and have millions to billions of dollars to trade, they're going to be trading where the liquidity is, which is going to be the main stock. Appreciate you, Jake. Yeah, single stock has so much hype and so much potential, but it is not there. John Switch, that's just my time slot that I stream. If I love the market, love potential, think, and like chat's going well, stream, like everything with the market's going well, and I'm stalking an entry or still in a trade, I've streamed till 11:30 before. So I've streamed 4.5 hours. I have no problem doing it. It just doesn't happen all the time. It used to happen a lot more, but the market's just been in a really big range. So we haven't gotten really nice trend days. Yeah, Polar Bear RTY edged me. Likely not going to get full locked out unless we get crazy buying pressure with no lower wick, which be a little shocking here. We'll see though. I'm getting edged for sure. What up, AXP? AXP, we didn't do one today. So no, you did not. I was running a test day, chat. And so far, you guys failed miserably. Just want you to know that. We ran giveaways the last 3 days. We've gotten 200 likes the last 3 days. We don't run one. We can't even break 100. So I was just doing a little test of where the love is. So far, it ain't there. War news, bombing runs, 8 trades. That happened at like 5:45. See you later, red to green. So chat, just so you know, if you don't see this many thumbs up for a giveaway, it's a test day. And if y'all fail the test, it's not a good look. Ain't no love in the city? Ain't none, Ollie. Ain't none. Dollars weak, which is good. Oil's stagnant, but if we see selling pressure, it could push lower. Gold still sideways, not interested in that. My main thing with RTY, and do I think it can hold structure and get continued longs? Yeah. But with where current structure is, and the reason I'm saying there's a high probability I get wicked out here, is how close we are to this low. If we consolidate in this lower area at all and do not get above like 74s, the probability of us testing this low grows. So I would need buying pressure above like 74s pretty quickly, trigger the 5. Trigger, get the 15 fixed a little bit. But if we sit in the lower half of this consolidation, I'm just anticipating the trailing to get hit. ES is likely saving us right now though. ES is holding well. Also, the areas we talked about earlier. Now remember, chat, these highlighted areas I draw, just quite literally 15-minute pivots. Y'all watch me put this on stream because that was the high of the end of day with a 15-minute pivot there. Pulled back perfectly into it and went. Why do I draw these? What the market loves to do is break out, pull back to this area, see if bulls are going to be defending this, and if bears have enough pressure to break it. If not, then it pushes. If it breaks back below, then you get the weakness and a failed retest. That's why a lot of people love buying pullbacks and retests. Because they're buying that little test, which gives them the highest probability of a nice risk to reward. John Switch, I can't really answer that. If you're around for Alan's stream, which is 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern, ask him that question because I don't scalp personally. My scalp is like a 10 to 15 minute trade because the market moved quick. I do not scalp. My normal trades are typically an hour, maybe more, unless we just get extreme volatility. But I would definitely ask Alan that question, because the man is a scalping legend. Luckily, it'd be like that. What up, right guy? Haven't seen anyone trade RTY in a while. I mean, when you know me, when RTY and YM have solid setups, I'll trade them. Especially because RTY, you can usually get lower risk with higher size. Polar Bear, you talking about Alan? Yeah. Typically, Alan's in and out of trades, at least for most of the streams I've seen. Sometimes he holds trades longer because we get a little bit of consolidation. But most of the time, or he's looking for a larger move, right? If Alan's looking for like 150 points on NQ, he's going to be holding a little longer. Big Bang, I feel like that depends on the person. That's all relative. There's people out there who try to take like 2-second trades. I think that's just delusional. But for me, scalping, just in my mindset, is based off time frame. I don't think you can scalp a 15-minute chart. If you can, you are just built different, and I'm very confused on your strategy. But most people who are going to be scalping are looking at the 2-minute, 1-minute, or lower time frames than that. So it's just based off the time frame you're trading, right? If I primarily trade off the 15, the hourly, and the 4-hour, I wouldn't consider myself a scalper. Yeah, Cleve, there was someone that freaked out on Tradeify, and I saw Brett reply to it on Twitter, and that's why I know the 2-second. Because he goes, this trading rule is stupid to have on an account. And he had 100% of his profit in less than 10 seconds on every single trade. So all he was doing is essentially getting momentum, max contract, big profit, immediate exit. I didn't even trade less than 10. Every single one of his trades was less than 10, which was insane. The craziest stat, though, if I remember correctly, he had like 5 trading days. I think it was a growth. He only took 1 trade per day. So he traded less than 10 seconds every single day on that account. Hit the profit target, but never looked at the rules to show that he can't actively do that. Yeah, what it likely is you just set a bracket order to enter as soon as you enter a position. You buy when you see momentum like this on a lower time frame. You likely get in at like 75 and out at 76. Takes me 5 seconds to confirm buy or sell. Shit, it takes me like 3 minutes. You got it dialed if it's 5 seconds. I'll stare at an entry during this session for 30 minutes straight before I take it. All right, I just don't like NQ. It's not a great 15-minute look. Not a great 5-minute look. If this spikes any bit lower, we likely get that 7 ticks down to spike me out, which is what it is. At least we logged a day. Damn, right, guy? You went full degen. I got that Logitech mouse with FOMO engraved. Hell yeah. That's what I need to do. Hotkey buy and sell to my mouse. So I just push the button, or I'll do it to my Stream Deck. Just push a button, immediately enter. Come on. Aman, as much as I love hearing about your strategy, in the most respectful way possible, I hope it fails for like 10 minutes. Let me get up at least back towards high of day so I can lock out a bigger profit, And then you can bring your dogs out all you want and wiggle them piggies. Yeah, Ollie, I can program my Stream Deck to do everything. I can program my Stream Deck to buy a certain amount of lots for every single button. Fish, if I get taken out by Amon wiggling his goddamn toes, we're done with streams for the week. We're calling it right there. Canceling all of Project 365. Stream Deck worth it. I love it. I don't utilize it as much as I should. I need to update it for this stream that you guys see. Y'all obviously know my old one. I had every single function on the stream hotkeyed onto it, so I don't have to click on it and then change a bunch of stuff and do it. But I also have it, so like if I just click a button, I open Windows, Discord, OBS, any trading broker. Like if I click a button, it opens my options broker. Instead of having to go through the whole process of it. There's a lot of things I'm not doing with it that I easily could that would make life easier. But to be honest, I'm just going to click the buy button on my broker and not worry about it. MD, did you get in oil? See, it made a little nice rally. Just give me a little bit of, anyone who's in short, I hope you can stay in it and it works. But just give me a little bit of RTY buying pressure. Just a little. What Stream Deck you using? It's the one with 1, 2, 3. The one with 15 keys on it. Let's see. I use this one. Damn, it's only $150. I paid $250 for this thing like 3 years ago. You guys get a hell of a discount. NY Cleve, imagine you can set it up for like a certain options contract. A-Trades, it's 15 keys, but you get multiple pages. You can set it so you have different pages. Like right now I have 3 pages of keys. MD, it is literally just a luxury thing. That is it. It's not needed. It helps a lot for streaming. Like if I want to turn my cam and stuff off, I just hit the button and it turns it off. Or if I want to mute the mic, all of that as well. I just have to rebind the keys because I have it attached to music, mic, audio, different stream things, whatever it was. Like all the old banners I used to use. Yeah, Chad, I think Amon just needs to stop wiggling. Also, we can end this poll. We ended 61% bullish. You guys flipped. I got one, never hooked it up. It ain't worth it that much. MD, I mean, to be fair, any hotkey would be good for a scalper. I'm about to put Amon in like a 30-minute timeout. Juice cuz. Jay, you guys got a new poll. See how you guys are doing. Wait, Chris. The Chris talking in chat. Is this you? Is this fucking you? We got beef. Man Ron and faded Ron last night during Globex. Payout. Is that you? Chat, looks like I stopped in profit. Oh, this bitch might hold. Chat, Jesus Christ. Just need some RGBs. Hang on, I got you. Is that better? Is that right for you, MD? If you notice too, these ones go to my voice and music. So anytime I talk, they light up. There's your RGBs. More RGB, more FPS. What the hell is ABG? Go back to green. Wrong green. Oh, chat, I broke it. I can't get it back to green. At least the darker green. Oh well, fix it later. I'm not a man of culture. I don't know what ABG is. MD, I can. I'm about to ban you permanently. Anyway, chat, looks like we're ending around 550 in profit on the day. These accounts are going to just get locked out. Because no matter what I make over 2100, I can withdraw it over the next 3 days. So for now, I think I'm going to lock them out. Worst case, too. Let's say I target that $2,000 number. Now I only need 1467 divided by 2. $730 the next 2 days. And I get another max payout. So we're locking this bitch out. Damn, AXP, that sucks ass. Vish, if you want that indicator, you just got to go to his feet finders. It's all there for you. This is honestly so annoying. But also, I could have exited way earlier. I just wanted us to get back up there and hit this target. But that is so dumb. What did we get? 6 ticks away. Less than 1 point from final TP. Couldn't get it. But we got trailed out. Vish, the easiest way to manage trades is in your sleep. MD, if we were back in like heavier war times, 100% you can inverse it. You can easily inverse oil. Usually oil stronger, indices weaker. I've been paying a lot of attention to the dollar as well. If the dollar's stronger with oil, then I definitely lean more bearish on the market. If they're not trading together for the most part, I'm more neutral, still willing to trade to the upside. So even if oil's strong, if the dollar's weak, I'm still open to longing the market, but I'm not as bullish as I would be, you know? All right, chat. I'm going to do a little closing time recap. And I think I'm going to call it. Because I don't plan on taking anything else. Like this account, I'll make the call right now. I won't touch these accounts until tomorrow. The balance is 52,678.75. And it ain't going to change. Make sure I cancel all orders. But it'll be that exact amount tomorrow. I ain't going to touch it. Which means I'm likely not even trading unless I buy evals and rip them until stream tomorrow. But what I'm going to pay attention to here, if I was looking to trade or if I trade evals, is going to be yesterday's high on ES. 74.85.75. And then the 28.020 on NQ. If we hold that, we can continue to try to get some buying pressure. However, if we do lose that, we're back in the broader range that we had earlier. And I'm not as in love with longs. Because then the 4 hour starts to get to that point where we're now just a very aggressive outside bar that tells me absolutely nothing, and I don't want that. If we end up a 4 hour outside bar that tells me nothing, I will not be looking at a single chart until sometime tomorrow. It's only been 2 hours and feels like less. And why it does. It does not feel like it's been 2 hours. But the main reason, normally I'd stay on, but I don't plan on trading at all. I don't. And also, if I have the most textbook stop loss in the market and this holds and just goes back up, that'd suck, but we would just sit here and watch it. Because I really don't want to rip evals right now, because if I did, I'd probably just trade them a little more aggressively. And I don't want to do that. So I think it's best I just call it. Don't get full port FOMC. No. Okay, go watch some online series till Alan comes in. Hell yeah. No, and Mike Leaf, we do need to do we're due for a longer stream. So one of these streams, when chat's also vibing, which, you know, is a huge part in it. We need chat vibing. We need some good ass conversations going on. Market needs to be a little lovely as well, which usually when the market's lovely, chat talks a lot. Or in the market straight sideways, chat talks a lot. But when that happens, we'll run another 3-4 hour stream. I don't have any problems with it. Y'all know that. But with that, though, y'all have a great rest of your night. Alan's on 1 a.m. Eastern. 30-day, 24-hour subathon with me. No. 30-day, 24-hour? No. You're going to watch me wither away in my chair. Fuck right off. But trade is active. No, Abdu. I got stopped in profit at 29.71.5. If you look and have any questions, look under my name. Right here is realized P&L from the trade. Right here is unrealized P&L because I'm currently not in a position. So whenever that says unrealized at 0, I'm not in a trade. Easy way to tell. But y'all have a great rest of your night. Alan's on 1 a.m. Eastern. I know most of y'all will be there. Jake's back on in the morning. FOMC tomorrow. We'll see what the market brings. Last note. Don't be a degenerate and try to trade FOMC. Those of you that need to hear it, I'm going to say it. Those of you that need to hear it are probably still going to do it. Either way, if you do, tell me how it goes tomorrow. But I'll be back on tomorrow. Y'all have a great rest of your night.